Robert Mitchum was a legend built from silence, grit, and a stubborn refusal to play the game. Born in 1917, he rose from poverty to become Hollywood's most authentic tough guy, a man whose calm voice and half-lidded stare could freeze an audience. Yet despite his legendary status, Mitchum was not a man who forgave easily. In a career filled with iconic performances, there was one name that consistently stirred his anger: George Peppard. Mitchum once admitted he hated Peppard more than anyone, a rare and sharp confession from a man who usually kept his emotions hidden. The rivalry wasn't about fame or money. It was deeper, rooted in authenticity, respect, and the kind of integrity Mitchum believed Peppard lacked. This is the story of a man who loved truth above all and hated anything that pretended to be it. A childhood of hardship and reckless freedom. Robert Charles Durr Mitchum was born on August 6, 1917, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. His childhood was marked by hardship and instability. When he was only 2, his father died in a railroad accident, leaving his mother to raise 3 children alone during the Great Depression. As a teen, Mitchum became restless and rebellious, drifting across the country by freight train and taking odd jobs as a ditch digger, boxer, and even a chain gang laborer in Georgia after being arrested for vagrancy. These experiences hardened him, shaping the raw authenticity that later became his screen persona. But beneath the rough exterior, Mitchum was thoughtful and introspective. He worked as a ghostwriter for astrologer Carol Ryder and wrote poetry, revealing a sensitive side few ever saw. His early life taught him survival, toughness, and the belief that life was meant to be lived on your own terms. From bit parts to breakthrough, the rise of a noir icon, Mitchum's entry into Hollywood was accidental. He began acting in low-budget westerns and dramas during the early 1940s, taking small roles to support his young family. Yet his natural charisma and presence caught attention quickly. By 1945, he landed his first major breakthrough in The Story of G.I. Joe, earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This marked the beginning of his ascent to stardom. Throughout the late 1940s and 1950s, Mitchum became synonymous with film noir, starring in classics like Out of the Past, Crossfire, and The Big Steal. His deep voice, unhurried delivery, and intense gaze made him the perfect embodiment of the world-weary anti-hero. Mitchum didn't need to shout. His silence was more powerful than most actors' speeches. He became the standard for understated menace, the kind of actor who made danger feel natural and inevitable. Beyond noir, the versatile power of a true actor. Mitchum's talent was not limited to noir. He proved his versatility across genres: war films, westerns, thrillers, and romantic dramas. In 1955, he delivered one of cinema's most chilling performances as Reverend Harry Powell in The Night of the Hunter. His portrayal of a murderous preacher with love and hate tattooed on his knuckles remains unforgettable. The role showcased his ability to blend charm and menace, creating a villain who was both terrifying and oddly magnetic. He continued to impress in films like Heaven Knows, Mr. Allison, The Sundowners, and Cape Fear, where he played the relentless Max Cady. Mitchum's presence grew stronger with age, and he remained a powerful screen force even in later years. He worked with younger actors and directors, proving that his intensity and authenticity never faded. He was a true actor, one who could adapt, evolve, and still remain unmistakably himself. The rebel who refused to be controlled off-screen, Mitchum was famous for his rebellious nature. He didn't care for Hollywood's pretension and refused to conform to its expectations. His famous quote, "People think I have an interesting walk. Hell, I'm just trying to hold my gut in," revealed his self-deprecating wit and refusal to be idolized. In 1948, he was arrested for marijuana possession, a scandal that might have destroyed a lesser career. Yet Mitchum's reputation as a bad boy only grew, and his career remained intact. He represented a new kind of celebrity, one rooted in authenticity rather than image. He lived by his own rules, and his public persona was built on honesty and toughness. He wasn't trying to be a star. He was simply being himself. That independence earned him respect, but it also made him intolerant of people he saw as fake or arrogant. Love in the time of turmoil. Dorothy Spence. In the fall of 1933, a 16-year-old Mitchum met Dorothy Spence, a 14-year-old girl who would become the anchor of his life. Their meeting at a swimming hole in Delaware felt like fate. Dorothy was kind, grounded, and intelligent, qualities that softened Mitchum's restless spirit. Their relationship grew through letters and distance as Mitchum chased dreams across America. Dorothy stayed in Delaware, attending school and later college, while Mitchum drifted through odd jobs and hardship on the West Coast. Despite the long separation, their bond deepened. They married on March 16, 1940, in a modest ceremony in a Methodist parson's kitchen. The marriage was a testament to loyalty and love in an unstable world. Dorothy became Mitchum's grounding force as he pursued acting. Together they raised 3 children, James, Christopher, and Patrine, who each carried their father's legacy in different ways. The man who couldn't stand. George Peppard, among the many actors Mitchum worked with, one name stood out as a constant irritant: George Peppard. Known for his charm and screen charisma, Peppard was a rising star in the 1950s and 60s. But Mitchum found him intolerable. He once said, "That son of a Peppard was one of the few people in this business I couldn't stand to be around." For Mitchum, Peppard represented everything he despised in Hollywood: vanity, arrogance, and a hunger for admiration. Mitchum believed Peppard lacked the soul that made acting real. Where Mitchum was raw, instinctive, and grounded, Peppard was polished, theatrical, and self-obsessed. Mitchum saw him as a man who performed even when the cameras stopped rolling, constantly seeking approval, constantly checking himself in the mirror. For a man who valued authenticity above all, Peppard's image-driven personality was unforgivable. A clash of values and generations. The rivalry between Mitchum and Peppard grew from a clash of values. Mitchum came from hardship and earned his place through grit and experience. Peppard, on the other hand, seemed to live as if he'd been born into fame. Mitchum was disgusted by Peppard's treatment of others, especially crew members and older actors. "You can tell a lot about a man by how he treats the guy holding the boom mic," Mitchum said. Peppard treated people like furniture, and Mitchum saw that as a proof of a rotten character. Their approaches to acting also differed sharply. Mitchum believed in minimalism and instinct. Peppard was analytical and demanding, often requesting endless retakes. Mitchum found it exhausting and fake. The tension became an emotional burden for Mitchum, who couldn't tolerate a man who acted like he was better than everyone else. A quiet rivalry that endured. The feud never erupted into a public fight, but it lived on in Mitchum's memory and private comments. He never publicly attacked Peppard, but his contempt was unmistakable when the name came up. Mitchum saw Peppard's eventual downfall, his career decline, and personal struggles, as proof that arrogance eventually destroys itself. "He burned a lot of bridges," Mitchum said. "He had talent, sure, but he poisoned his own well." For Mitchum, it was not a celebration of Peppard's failure, but a confirmation of his belief in integrity. Mitchum's life was built on truth, and he believed that truth always finds its way back. Peppard's later years were marked by regret, while Mitchum remained respected as one of Hollywood's true originals. In Mitchum's eyes, the rivalry wasn't just personal, it was a philosophical battle between realness and performance. Outrow. The man who lived truthfully. Robert Mitchum died on July 1, 1997, at the age of 79, from lung cancer and emphysema. He passed away quietly at his home in Santa Barbara, California, leaving behind a legacy built on authenticity, rebellion, and unmatched screen presence. He was a man who lived by his own rules, who hated falsehood more than anything. His contempt for George Peppard wasn't petty. It was a moral judgment from a man who valued honesty above fame. Mitchum remains a cinematic icon, not because he was loud or flashy, but because he was real. His performances continue to influence actors and audiences, and his story reminds us that true greatness is born from truth, struggle, and the courage to be yourself. In a world of masks, Robert Mitchum chose to remain unmasked until the very end.